Welcome back, everyone, and Happy New Year. And as I sit here in solitude on a Sunday, I'm going to sit down and read and go back into the conspiracy book, A Chronological Journey Through Secret Societies and Hidden Histories by John Michael Greer. And as we return, we come to the Alumbrados. And over here, it shows a picture. It looks like some kind of city near the edge of the water. I could not guess where this is. If I was to guess, it would be Spain, because I believe the Alumbrados come from Spain. If you remember, we went into the Encyclopedia Britannica, and we found that as we researched the Illuminati in there. And if you look close, it looks like all these buildings look like they could be mud flatters. Definitely old world, that one at the top. All right, let's see what it says here. What's the date? 1511. Maria de Santo Domingo, 1480 to 1524, was the most harmless of religion visionaries. A devout Spanish Catholic from the little town of Piedrahita near Toledo, she became convinced that the human soul could achieve holiness by emptying itself of thoughts and desires and focusing its attention entirely on God. She began to teach her ideas in Toledo 1511 and quickly won a following among local Catholics. Those who accepted her teachings called themselves the Alumbrados, Spanish for the illuminated ones. Over the other side of the planet, a very similar set of ideas played a central role in Zen Buddhism, but the tradition emerged in a far more talented religious environment than that which Maria de Santo Domingo faced. Her venture into Catholic Zen handed her trouble with church officials who took exemption in her teachings on various points of doctrine and called in the Inquisition. While she herself managed to avoid the stake, many of her followers were tortured and burned as heretics in the years that they followed. The gentle rise and brutal fall of the Alumbrados would have been just another footnote in a long history of religious intolerance in the world, except for one small detail. The name of Maria's followers chose for themselves, translated into Latin, the phrase illuminated ones, is Illuminati, centuries later. After the French Revolution, conspiracy theorists trying to pin the blame for the turmoil of those years on very different secret societies, the Bavarian Illuminati used the coincidence of names to claim the Bavarian order had existed since the Middle Ages. See also the Illuminated of Avignon, 1770, the Bavarian Illuminati, 1776, and that's the one that was May 1st, and we talk about the 5-1 number. A contemporary photo of the city skyline of Toledo, Spain, where the founder of the Alumbrados, Maria of Santiago Domingo, began her teaching her ideas. So that explains it right there. All right, on to the next. The Family of Love, 1555. Look at this old etching. Let's get those Antichrist angels. Angels aren't babies. They were created by God. They're men. There's the secret handshake. Some kind of flowers in the middle. I'm not a florist, so I don't know what kind of flowers them are. Emmanuel. That's Hebrew on the left, illuminated in the lights too. And then it says something down here. I'm not even sure what language that is. We'll probably find out right now. All right, another influential religious secret society, the Family of Love, was founded in 1555 by the German mystic Heinrich Nicolai. Its members believed that experiencing the love of God was more important than believing in an officially approved set of doctrines, and held that the Bible ought to be interpreted as an allegory of soul relationship with God rather than taken literally. In the hearth house religion's atmosphere of the 16th century, that was enough to get the family denounced, condemned, and imprisoned or exiled. As a result, the Familists, as Nicolai's followers were called, went underground. Familists thus concealed their membership and attended the officially approved church services of countries in which they lived. They recruited new members quietly, sounding out potential converts in advance, and not mentioning the phrase family of love, until the new recruit had proven his or her readiness to keep the secret. By these methods, the family spread throughout England, the Netherlands, and northern Germany, despite the efforts of more orthodox religion bodies to keep them in check. With the coming of the 17th century, as Europe dissolved into savage religious warfare, the Familist movement faded out. Though its ideas became widespread all through the radical religious scenes of the time, the family may also have played a role in inspiring the Rosicrucian movement. Certainly in its secrecy and concealment were copied by many other organizations as religious struggles gave way to political and economic conflicts in the centuries immediately ahead. See also the Rosicrucians, 1614. And that might make more sense why there's a flower in there. That's definitely not a rose, obviously. But the Rosicrucians seem to have all types of flower symbolisms. And it could mean like rebirth, as they always get bumped down, just like the phoenix, and come back and rise again. A print made by Hans Ladenspeler in 1574, thought to have been used to illustrate the Family of Love books. I've never heard of that secret society. That's why I like these books. You learn something every day. The Shaw Statutes, 1598. And this is that same picture they showed at the beginning of the book. And there's the Leviathan leaf in the middle, which no one I know can claim a name, and that's why I've invented the name Leviathan leaf, and I am the inventor of that name. William Shaw, 1515 to 1602, the younger son of a Scottish laird, grew up in the Scottish royal court and became one of the King James VI trusted servants. In 1583, the king appointed him to the office of Master of Works, with authority over and royal building projects in Scotland. Carrying out the duties of that office brought Shaw into contact with the lodges of stonemasons all over the Scottish kingdoms. And to me, that sounds like mud-flooded buildings. By 1583, however, the old stonemasons' guilds were in disarray, hammered by sweeping economic changes and the violent religious controversies that swept Europe at that time. Shaw therefore decided to issue a set of regulations to be followed by master stonemasons throughout Scotland. The regulations, later called the Shaw Statutes, appeared in 1598. A longer version with some changes was issued the following year. The Shaw Statutes had only a modest impact on the stonemason guilds, even in Scotland, because by the time that they were issued, the entire guild system was coming apart in the seams at the end of the Middle Ages, brought sweeping economic changes to Europe. Within a century, stonemasons, like skilled artisans in other trades, would be independent businessmen who no longer worked under the authority of the guild. Most guilds simply dissolved, but a few survived by transforming themselves and taking on new roles. The stonemason guilds, as has been alluded to earlier, choose this latter path as began the process that turned them into modern Freemasonry, a men's social club and charitable society and template on which the secret societies were based. As a marker of these changes, the Shaw Statutes are crucial because they offer a glimpse at Freemasonry at the eve of its great transformation. All right, let's see what it says here. Freemasonry drew its symbols from stonemasons' tools, among them the compass and square ruler. Note that the all-seeing eye of God, a symbol of antiquity, meant to represent divine watchfulness over all of our deeds and actions. Interesting. The Shaw Statutes. We will return with this. It's Roble. Roby 1, the Indiana Jones a wrap, and the research continues. Have a nice day.